Facts from my bro, mark the stats, man. If you're not tuned in, I recommend the CAT scan. And if your brain checks out, then you deserve a backhand. Sports, gossip, all the hot topics. Real fans, realtalk.com got it. They got the hottest bloggers. Is Jeremy Lin hurt? Well, log on to the site and you can hear it from them first. I'm talking about the latest. I'm talking about the greatest. Go check out the archives. Even tell a neighbor. Tell them Bobby sent ya. From spring to winter, tuning in should be the only thing on your agenda. Certified cosign. You know what I'm about, son. Real fans, realtalk.com. I'm out, one. Real fans, real talk. Real fans, real talk. Real fans, realtalk.com. Real fans, realtalk.com. Real fans, real talk. Real fans, real talk. Real fans, realtalk.com. Real fans, realtalk.com.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another live episode of Real Fans, Real Talk. I know we've been away for a little while because of Hurricane Sandy, but we are officially back, and of course I got the team with me. To my right, Mark the Statman Skevich.
How's it going, everyone? We are back, and we actually have someone who came out of hiding. We had Sean Fontaine over here who's been hiding since the Cowgirls have been losing, but then mysteriously comes back after a Cowgirls victory against the Eagles yesterday. But he's coming back after losing shot for shot the last time he was on the program. And what happens when you lose shot for shot, we'll have the segment later on in the show, but what happens when you lose, you got to wear team apparel from a team that you hate. So he could wear this nice little giant sweatshirt. It's a little cold out nowadays, so...
Isn't that nice? He gave you the shirt off his back.
Look at that, look at that.
Give me this garbage right here. Let me go ahead and put this on, you know.
Well, you know what? This team actually has Super Bowl victories in this era.
But we still have more than you guys. Either way, we haven't won since, what, 95?
No, we have more. We have more in the past 25 years than the Cowgirls did.
All right.
Cowgirls got 3 in the 90s. We got...
Over there long gone now. Now you're left with Tony Romo and the rest of the girls.
Exactly.
So, you know, he
feels like a Snuggie.
It's definitely a little big on you, but that's all right. As long as you're wearing that G-Man. And how does it feel to wear something from the team that actually won recently, as opposed to living in the past with the Cowgirls back in, like you said, 95?
Well, with being a Cowboys fan, you have to understand that everybody's going to hate you. So, you know, I'm fine with that. You know, we did win last week. You guys did lose last week. So I'll take this right here, you know, and let me clear it up. Sandy had me stuck in New Jersey, so it wasn't my fault. So blame Sandy and blame Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah, well, we did not have an episode because of Hurricane Sandy, and our charity event was also postponed. That was supposed to take place on that day. That will be moved to November 30th. We'll be mentioning more details on that later on the program. If you want to check it out, it's realfansrealtalk.com/charities. But getting right into the sports. The Pittsburgh Steelers get a narrow victory in overtime against the Kansas City Chiefs last night on Monday Night Football, but more importantly, they lose their starting quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger, with a shoulder strain. No official announcement on his return, but from Trip Young's research, it seems like 3 to 6 weeks is the norm for shoulder sprain injuries, so that's what we could expect. He'll probably be back late in the season or for the playoffs if they manage to make it to the playoffs. So huge loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers there. They're struggling to try to take first in that AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens obviously on top right now in that one. So it's going to be tough for them without Big Ben. They've lost Big Ben in the past, though, and managed to come out with victories. So, Trip Young, what do you think this means for the Steelers? Are they going to continue? Winning, or do you think this is going to affect them? Because they have, like I said before, Big Ben has been out the past couple of years with suspensions and injuries, and they seem to win without him. Do you think that will be the case this year as well?
You know, that's very true, and I'm glad that you brought this topic over to me because, you know, I have a little invested interest in this, seeing as how I am the Ravens fan on the show. And on top of that, I was actually going up against Ben Roethlisberger in the Real Fans Real Talk Fantasy Football League as well. So when he got taken out of the game, that kind of helped me out on both ends. Now, when they lost Ben Roethlisberger in the past, they didn't have the Ravens coming up in 2 of their next 3 games,
exactly.
which is going to be a problem because, You know, my man Joe Cool he's back. He got the offense turned up again, and you know, there's a lot of bad blood between the Ravens and
But
the Steelers. Ray is on the side as an emotional leader. We got T Sizzle back, Ball So Hard University, and he's looking to take Byron
Terrell
Leftwich out
Suggs,
because
for those who don't understand the Ebonics,
the
but
defensive player of the year from a year ago. But he's definitely looking to take out Leftwich, who really can't even, you know, he just can't get it done anymore.
He's been stinking it up too.
And you know, they struggled against a Chiefs team that is horrible, 1-8 on the season now, and it's not going to get any better going into, you know, to Baltimore to see those guys. Ray Rice is just going to do what he wants on the field. I'm not worried at all. But it's going to be a fun next couple of weeks, and we'll let you guys know definitely the exact status on Roethlisberger as soon as we get the word in. You can check us out on the web as well if you guys want. We'll have the updated story on realfansrealtalk.com. But we did have a lot of other football that went on this weekend. I know, you know, we spoke about the Cowboys and the Eagles briefly, but Michael Vick,
Mr. Glass himself, ladies and gentlemen.
They just can't protect that man.
He is out. He has a concussion. And
the guy wears a bulletproof vest to protect himself.
Yeah, with that O-line, you have one on too. What are you saying? They don't block.
All they do is give him lookout box. Look out, Mike. Yeah, they're coming.
So it's pretty sad. They let the rookie come in. Finally, he got his time. He didn't do.
He actually did a pretty good job, but you know he just can't hold up. But he actually he did his thing for a little bit.
Surprisingly, against the Cowgirls, that
watch your mouth
to go down that way, but.
Well, we have a total of 4 quarterbacks that were injured this past Sunday. We just mentioned Big Ben Roethlisberger was injured. Also, Mike Vick we just talked about with the concussion, Mr. Glass himself. Alex Smith also with a concussion, and Jay Cutler with a concussion on a head-to-head collision in his game against Houston, which took place on Sunday Night Football. Houston ended up winning that one. The Bears not only losing the game, but also losing Jay Cutler, who stayed in the game for 6 further plays until being taken out, which has caused some controversy. Obviously, all the things going out there with the concussions. You have 30% of former players in the NFL suing the NFL because of concussions. A lot of big injuries there with concussions. There's a 1 out of 3 chance higher for an NFL player who has played at least 5 years to develop to die from some type of neurological disorder like Alzheimer's, or Parkinson's, and that's something that's staggering, and it's a shame, but at the same time, it is football. Football is a contact sport, and even the head-to-head collisions, the way I see it. When you're playing defense, you're not necessarily trying to hit them with the helmet.
And they tell you to form tackle. They tell you to form tackle, and that's what you're supposed to do. So it's like you really can't avoid it in a lot of instances.
Sometimes you don't know what direction the quarterback, the running back is going to move their head. Exactly. You're trying to hit them with the shoulder, and then next thing you know, it's a head-to-head collision. I don't think that it's intentional, because even for me on the defense, if I'm a defensive player and I'm trying to take somebody out, I could hurt my neck with a head-to-head collision the same way as the offensive guy. So it's not a dirty, cheap shot type of thing that they try to make it seem. A lot of the times, it's just legitimately an accident. That it's a shame when players get injured and these defensive guys are getting fined, but it's really hard to avoid it. A lot of times it's just an accident, and they make it seem like these defensive players are evil when a lot of times it's an accident. So it's a shame with the concussions going on, but four big quarterbacks out there, definitely affecting all on except for the Eagles, all on.
I was going to correct you. It's only 3. It's really only 3 because of course the Eagles are going to stink it up.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not worried about them.
Like, there's only 3 talented teams.
I mean, after this, once we know exactly how long Roethlisberger is going to be out, that could actually seal the Steelers' fate as well, because they're chasing the Ravens right now. But like I said, they have the Ravens in 2 games in the next 3 weeks. And, 3 to 6 weeks for that shoulder injury to heal. And that's his throwing arm as well. So, that could mean the end of the Steelers season just from that one injury.
The second half of the season is very crucial also for a lot of teams and whatnot because, like especially for the Giants, we all know that in December, Eli Manning, he definitely kicks it into gear You know, so it's a very crucial part of the year. So with Roethlisberger not being there, it can be detrimental to the Steelers, like you said. So.
Especially like you mentioned, they are playing their division rival, the Ravens, 2 out of the next 3 weeks. This coming Sunday, they play in Pittsburgh. We'll see how they can handle things without Ben Roethlisberger. But if they lose those 2 games, the division's pretty much in the Ravens' hands, which I know Trip Young will definitely be enjoying. But
I mean,
even their wild card hopes will be very slim with the Colts playing the way they've been playing as well. Like I wanted to bring this up as far as the play of Andrew Luck. There's obviously Peyton Manning. A lot of people wanted Peyton Manning back, but to put Andrew Luck on the bench when he's the number 1 draft pick, that didn't really make sense. And do you guys think now that Andrew Luck has been able to lead this team to a 6-3 record so far, that it was the right move? Because let's face it, how many more years does Peyton have? 4 years? How many does Luck have? So was that the right move for Indianapolis to not get Peyton Manning and go with Andrew Luck?
I think at this point in the year, especially because of the record, it's definitely, you know, a great move to make. But of course, you didn't know that. You know, the only thing that the Colts were worried about was those 4 neck surgeries that Peyton had. So of course, they wasn't trying to gamble with that. And then let's say he get hurt and they don't have anybody else. So I mean, at the end of the day, it was a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Honestly, the Colts weren't as bad as they played last season. I don't care what anybody says. they were not that bad. You know, it's just they lose Peyton Manning, who is, you know, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the team morale goes down. But they're definitely better than what their record was, which is why I believe that the team is actually doing so well, you know, this season, because they still had a decent team. They still have a pretty good line. You know, they have Dwight Freeney out there still. They still have a Pro Bowl wide receiver in Reggie Wayne. You know, that offensive line is very good as well. You know, they do protect Andrew Luck, and he's able to do it. He's able to break records like what he did 2 weeks ago when he had that 400+ yard game. You know, so. And I think it was definitely the right move. You kind of got to move on. Peyton, I can't see him being in the league, you know, for 5 years playing at the level he is now.
So how do you guys feel about, you know, Peyton having the same record with Denver as Tebow at this point in the year?
You mean as Luck?
You know, as far as win-loss or whatnot at this point in the year.
Oh, with Tebow from last year?
Yeah.
They had a different strength of schedule.
Yeah, it was a different schedule, and Tebow didn't. I mean, Tebow got most of the victories. The losses weren't even Tebow's fault for the most part at this point in the season. So I mean, I thought that the addition of Peyton Manning on the Denver Broncos, especially with the fact that he's playing the way he is makes them a legitimate Super Bowl contender. So, and they weren't that Super Bowl contender with Tim Tebow. I mean, he has those miracle fourth quarters because he had God on his side.
But he just can't throw. he can't throw. He can't throw.
It's not his strength throwing.
Exactly.
He's a good athlete, but as far as throwing, you can get away with those talents in college, but at the NFL, if you don't have it, you don't have it.
Yeah.
That's actually going to lead to one of our fan mail questions, unless you want to touch more on that, Trip Young, or
no, go ahead. We just kind of want to get the fans involved.
Yeah, Daniel from Newburgh writes, "Who is more deserving of comeback player of the year, Peyton Manning or Adrian Peterson?" That's huge as far as the two of them. I mean, I gotta say Adrian Peterson, because I mean he had a knee injury, and as a running back, that's basically your whole foundation. But at the same time, with the quarterback, it's almost the same thing with the neck injury, because you have to be able to be very observant of the field, so you got to constantly be moving your neck as well. But I think as far as Adrian Peterson, they both made great comebacks, but AP is definitely doing his thing and taking the Minnesota Vikings on his back. And with that bad knee, and he's coming into play week after week, running on all cylinders, doing a great job. My pick is Adrian Peterson. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd go with Adrian Peterson as well. I mean, it's amazing, you know, what Peyton has done, coming back from those 4 neck surgeries, and he's balling right now. But Adrian Peterson is on a whole nother level. In my opinion, right now, he's the MVP of the season. He's leading the league in rushing yards, and he's dominating every week. He had 171 this week. He had 168 last week. I believe he had 150-something the week before that. So, you know, he's putting up amazing numbers, and he is really carrying that Minnesota Vikings offense. They don't have a great quarterback. They don't have great receivers. So, it's pretty much everything is lying on Adrian Peterson. They go as he goes. And the more he's able to dominate on the ground, the better they'll be. They're holding on to that second place spot, and they're surprising a lot of.
They're in the third place in the NFC North, actually.
Of teams are third place now, so they gotta keep fighting. But I think that Adrian Peterson, he's definitely comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with AP as well. That ACL injury, you're not supposed to come back from that.
Definitely
and
not.
do what he does.
Yeah, exactly, and to carry that team on his back the way he's doing it. I mean, I definitely feel like Peyton might have a little bit more help out there in Denver, but for the most part, AP is doing his thing right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Usually, you have a 1-2 punch. You have a quarterback out there that could throw, which
got
opens up the running game and back and forth. But in this case, AP has no. He's the workload.
One man band, man.
Ponder's not really one of those guys that you see as a threat. So the defense knows that their whole basis is that running game, and yet they still perform. I just want to thank Daniel for writing in. And if you guys want to write in your fan mail questions, it's fanmail@realfansrealtalk.com is our email address. Our individual Twitters and emails are on the contact section of the realfansrealtalk.com website. So realfansrealtalk.com under the contact section, or you could go directly by / contacts. Also, I just want to thank all the fans that wrote in, because they know we're from the New York area, and they're the ones who were checking in to see how we were doing, because I'm from Brooklyn, and it was very heartwarming to see the fan mail questions and to see if we were all right and how things are going and everything. So from across the country, it was definitely very heartwarming. We appreciate that. So thank you to the fans for that one. And once again, if you like us on Facebook, you can get updates on our special programs. We air every 5:30 live on BronxNet Television. All our archived episodes are out there as well. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/realfansrealtalk. We got some funny photos up there, and we post every time we're doing the show. Our radio show airs every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's after the first few games and before Sunday Night Football. So you can check in and see the recap of all the games and our thoughts on that one. Also, all of those are archived on the realfansrealtalk.com website as well. So a lot of good games coming up this coming Sunday as well. We mentioned that Steelers-Ravens game, but also the division rival with the NFC North with the Packers-Lions. Lions started off a little bit better, not so much right now. And Monday Night Football is a big one as well, as the Chicago Bears just coming off their loss with Cutler going against the Niners, who just came off their loss with Alex Smith. And they actually ended in a tie that one, but they lost Alex Smith 24-24 against the St. Louis Rams.
He actually threw a touchdown pass after getting his concussion. So maybe these concussions aren't as bad as
maybe it straightened him out a little bit.
Get right in your system.
A little wake-up call for Alex Smith.
It definitely helped him out. But we gotta jump over to basketball. Statman, I see you got your Knicks jersey on.
Yes, sir.
And the former head coach of the Knicks was actually fired. Oh, excuse me, he resigned. Allegedly. But he actually got hired by the Lakers. And he is going to be coaching that ragtag bunch out there in Hollywood.
You mean Dwight Howard helped him get fired?
Man,
2-0.
So they had a chance to bring Phil Jackson back, but they actually went with Mike D'Antoni. So Mike D'Antoni is the new man in LA. How far is Mike D'Antoni going to be able to get the Lakers?
Well, number one, since I am wearing the Knicks jersey, the Knicks are undefeated right now. That's correct, 4-0. Last time they went 4-0 was the 93-94 season, where they actually ended up going 7-0. So I just want to throw that in there. The Knicks are running on all cylinders as well. I'm definitely loving it.
Because you don't have Carmelo and Stoudemire playing right now.
Well, Stoudemire's not playing.
Stoudemire said he'd be on 4.
Exactly.
But in the 90s, there was a decade of dominance in a sense, but they didn't win any championships, but they were still a dominant team. They would finish first in the East several times. Then it went to a decade of disaster after 2000, where they couldn't even make the playoffs. So I'm happy. I'm enjoying this little moment
The whole Larry Johnson era was like that was a good
moment now, because we know that the Knicks aren't going to do anything come playoff time.
But back to your question though with D'Antoni. D'Antoni A lot of the things they said with the Knicks was he's an offensive-minded coach, and the problems with was the defense. Now they have Mike Woodson. The defense is playing as significantly better, and now they're bringing D'Antoni over to the Lakers, who didn't really have a problem with the offense. It was the defense and the bench that was really affecting the outcome of the games, because they were actually ranked 6th in offensive efficiency before Mike Brown got fired. So it's not, they're going to put another offensive-minded coach in there, and their offense is going to be is going to be good. But I don't really, I'm not sure how. I don't have anything against D'Antoni, but I'm not sure.
Mike Brown is actually a defensive-minded coach. So I think what they did, they said we had a defensive-minded coach, and he couldn't get them to play defense.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get an offensive-minded
coach.
Oh, okay, that's
he'll
how
be
it
able
works.
to get them to play some defense. You know, I don't know. The Lakers are moving backwards right now. I know, all of the Laker fans that I know wanted Phil Jackson to come back. They were even chanting, "We want Phil at the games."
You got to think about how old Phil is now.
Yeah.
Like the last game he played, he got swept against the Mavericks a couple of years ago in the playoffs, and he was tired on the sidelines, tired of the traveling. And if they did sign Phil Jackson, it was going to be where he doesn't go to like most of the.
He couldn't even come to the press conference.
Yeah,
that's for starters. He couldn't even come to the press conference in L.A.
Phil Jackson, the man has 11 NBA titles. He got 5 of them with the Lakers. That man can do whatever he wants. That's the Zen master. And they should have just gave him.
But then they
due.
say he also wanted he wanted some share in the team or something like that as well. Like Phil wanted a lot.
Yeah.
Phil wanted a lot. I understand that, but Phil wanted a lot. Like that's LA now. Come on.
You can give Phil Jackson a lot. Who what you get with Phil Jackson. You get a winner.
Well, you don't
Somebody
though. You know what you get with Phil Jackson 5 years ago. You don't know what you get. This is like Peyton Manning coming off the injury. It could be good, but it could be someone else.
And this is a different squad now too. And this is a different squad. This is an older squad also.
This is an older squad, but they still got a young Dwight Howard in there who's not even at 100% right now. And Kobe is older, but he's not playing like.
But he's still Kobe.
Kobe's still playing like
who?
he's 30. So it's just they just got to get that defense. And I don't like the Lakers at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think that D'Antoni, even though I would have liked to see Phil Jackson, come back in and coach the team. I think that D'Antoni will actually do well with the Lakers because he knows how to use Nash, because they weren't using him correctly. They were not playing to Steve Nash's strengths. And, we all know he got Steve Nash 2 MVPs while he was in Phoenix. So I do think that he's going to have them playing well. As far as how they do in the playoffs, either one of those.
I think with either coach, either Mike Brown or D'Antoni, it's just a matter of taking time for that chemistry to build. So it's they're going to be a threat come the playoffs, even though a lot of people, just because they're coming off to a slow start, that's the exact same thing that happened with Miami when you first put that click together, and then. Later on in the season, they got it together. Yeah, well, I mean,
it took them a season also.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the Lakers.
They should have kept Mike Brown anyway.
Yeah, but
I think so too.
He never had enough time.
It might work out. You got
a job.
Yeah, right. You got Dwight. When you say defense, you have Dwight. You got chemistry. You got chemistry. Exactly. You got chemistry. He coached Kobe in the Olympics. Yeah. He also used to coach Nash, so it might just work out, and he says he's going to implement a different offense as well.
So that European style.
Exactly, because what was that? Princeton's offense, they needed a lot of good shooters.
Yeah.
And we all know that they.
Well, you know what? In D'Antoni's offense, they're going to need some shooters as well. Because he has
more pick and roll.
Well, yeah, he has the pick and roll, but he has a lot of wing players.
Yeah.
That Steve Nash kicks out for the three. Now, obviously, we know Kobe can make them. Ron Artest.
He's iffy.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Made a world war.
Made a world war. He'll
Queensbridge.
Every 5. Queensbridge is in the building. But it's going to be either way. I think it's going to be a bumpy road for the Lakers. But it's going to take them a little while, to really get things in order. So we'll see how the season goes. By All-Star break, we'll have a better idea of who the Lakers, really are.
In other news, former Laker Andrew Bynum will be missing at least another 5 more weeks. So he's definitely going to be out of there. So that's not good news. on that end. But,
that's Mr. Glass right there. You know, I know that's one decision that I know the Lakers are glad they made to trade Andrew Bynum. The last season, and it's probably only because there were 66 games in the season, was the only season that he actually played the entire season. And now he's on a new team, and he's gonna miss the first month and a half to 2 months of the season, and we don't know how he's gonna be when he comes back. I know Philly is kicking themselves behind this decision. It sucks, but that's what you get when you take Andrew Bynum on. You knew he was injury prone, prior to the trade, so you just gotta deal with that. At least they got Jason Richardson back last night. He's playing again. How long he'll be healthy?
Who knows?
I can't guarantee you anything with that team.
And expect a lot of three-pointers.
4 and 3 is not too bad for Philly though, and just Brooklyn also not playing too bad with a 3-2 record. They have the injury with Wallace and Brooks as well, so they don't have their full squad. But what do you think? We got to shout out Brooklyn since
we shout what the Nets had today. I had to represent. For
Knicks
my
or New York Knicks.
But we ain't even on.
Brooklyn Nets are second in the
We ain't
division.
even on.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but wherever we go, I got a rep for
That's
for
that
the
Brooklyn
home
way
team.
right there. That's what that is.
And listen, they beat up on Orlando very bad. The first game they beat them by 40.
Who do they
beat them by
have?
15 again. Listen, the Nets
do they have?
weren't at full strength. All right, you got to understand what's going on here. They getting that chemistry together, and they
Nelson and
working right
Turkoglu
now.
are injured too,
you
so
know.
the Magic really don't have
JJ
any.
Redick, like, come
Which
on.
is why the
Turkoglu's
Knicks will be
not
abusing them
Turkoglu's
tonight, by the way.
Sheesh.
I believe 7:30 p.m. the Knicks will be the second New York team to abuse the Magic without
Well,
Dwight
all right,
Howard.
you know what? That may be a gimme game against Orlando,
That's
but
a stat game right
they
there.
won by
7
40
p.m.
points. So you gotta give them their credit for doing that. They gotta get Brook Lopez able to start rebounding. All right, I think Brook Lopez is the key. He's averaging -5 rebounds a game.
How do you average that? But how do you average that? Sometimes these stats, I don't get this.
You know what it is that Chris Humphries gets so many rebounds. Brook Lopez
That is a
feels
made-up stat, by the way, from the stat man. That is no such thing as negative rebounds.
It happens, but I think the Nets are going to be okay. They have a really good team. They just have to start playing together and get that chemistry down. Once Gerald Wallace comes back, because he is a difference maker on the defensive end. He can rebound. He can get you some baskets. So once they have full strength, I think we'll really get to see how good of a team that the Nets are as well.
Thinking about it from a stat perspective, should they get a negative rebound when they tip it over to the other team?
Right?
Just curious. All right.
We'll see how it goes. But we
That
got
goes like an
huge-
error column or something.
Huge upset also in college football. Alabama losing that #1 spot, losing the number 15 Texas A&M. Trip
Yeah,
Young. I mean,
yeah.
that's a huge shocker right there.
It
I
is.
wouldn't have expected that one.
And I'm very upset by that because I wanted Alabama to get back to the championship game. It's going to be kind of rough now, even though they are the number 4. They're ranked number 4 right now in the nation, so they still have a chance to do it. But it's going to take a couple of losses from either Notre Dame, Oregon, or K-State. They can still do it. I'm not too worried. They had a situation similar to this 3 years ago when they won, where they lost the game, and then when they managed to get back to the number 1 seed and still went on to win the championship game. So I'm still looking forward to seeing them in that BCS game. I'd like to see them play Notre Dame though. To be honest with you,
How does that top 5 look right now, Trip Young?
you got K-State at 1, Oregon at 2.
That's going to fall.
Notre Dame at 3. Then you have Alabama at 4, and of course you got the University of Georgia at number 5. A lot of people actually,
UGA, right?
yeah, were wondering, why Alabama didn't get bumped out of the top 5, and the reason for that is because one, they lost to a ranked team. Texas A&M is number 15, and the University of Georgia has multiple losses, so they weren't gonna get dropped out of the top 5. I was surprised that they stayed at 4. I thought they would have been at 5, but their strength of schedule, they have a tougher schedule than most teams playing in that SEC, which is one of the toughest divisions in college football. So we'll see how the season.
I would definitely
goes.
enjoy seeing an LSU Georgia game. No, not LSU. Excuse me, Alabama Georgia game versus seeing Notre Dame or Kansas, because I don't think they'll hold up in the national championship game.
Well, I mean, you gotta...
Honestly, I don't feel like it would happen. They come from independent. They're balling right now. They're doing their thing. But when it comes down to national championship time, those guys, they have that, they have that pedigree, that caliber, that talent to get it done at that time of the year. So I don't,
I'd like to see Oregon versus Alabama.
Oregon, that run and shoot offense, we throwing the ball down the field.
That'll be offense.
You know what I did like seeing, though? I like seeing Sean Fontaine wear that Giant shirt, the Cowgirls fan wearing the Giant shirt, and we've delayed shot for shot long enough just because I've enjoyed it so much.
5 more minutes?
Should we go to another subject?
Nah. Let's get into shot for shot. You got.
All right, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's take a fan mail question before we go over to shot for shot. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerry from Yonkers writes, do you think that at 4-5 on the season, the Cowgirls, have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs? Now, since you're the Cowgirls fan of the bunch, I'm just wondering what you think of that.
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm also a realist. Let me put that out there. In that division, who do we have? We have the Eagles.
You have the Eagles,
we have the Redskins,
who you're one ahead of, the Redskins, who you're one ahead of as well, and the Giants, who you are 1.5 behind. Now,
I've learned a long time ago not to keep betting against a certain man by the name of Eli Manning, and in the month of December, he owns that month. And there's a guy on the flip side that doesn't own that month, and his name is Tony Romo. So with that being said,
it's very true. That's a point that you make.
So with that being said, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. Don't get me wrong. Since I was age 8, that's the reason why I even played football. But at the end of the day, I have to see it to believe it. So right now, I'm gonna say no.
All right. Well, I concur with you on that one. And
I think
since you're a realist, now you can take off the Giant shirt, put the ref shirt on, and we'll start this episode of Shot for Shot.
Yeah. Shout out to Jerry and Daniel again.
For your fan mail questions. Once again,
shout out to Yonkers too for showing us that
fan mail at realfansrealtalk.com.
Take this garbage away from me.
Is our email address. All our contact information, Twitter addresses, individual email addresses if you want to hit us up individually. realfansrealtalk.com/contacts, or you could just go to the main website, go all the way to the right on the contacts. All our archived episodes, both TV and radio, are on the realfansrealtalk.com website. RFRT Media, drop-down menu, RFR TV, or just click on RFRT Media for the old radio episodes. Our radio show airs every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is after the first few games of the NFL, before Sunday Night Football. So make sure you check that out every week. We do air special episodes. If you like us on Facebook, facebook.com/realfansrealtalk. And that will show our special episodes. We got one coming up with interviewing a whole bunch of boxing legends. So make sure you like us on Facebook to see some funny photos, like Tony Romo's turnovers, which we posted a couple of weeks ago. Pepperidge Farm, Tony Romo's turnovers. That was a funny one. A lot of funny pics on Facebook if you like our fan page. And of course, we are live every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on BronxNet Television, right here on BronxNet. So definitely enjoying that one, and we're going to the next edition of Shot for Shot. For those of you that don't know what Shot for Shot is, obviously we got the referee, we got the two contestants, myself and Trip Young. The referee is going to ask a series of questions, and whoever he sides with will get the point for that question. And unless we go to overtime, there's 5 questions. And if we agree, the reason why there's no point awarded is because the person who goes first has the advantage to throw out as many facts as possible. So it's only if there's a disagreement a point is awarded. Let's get it started.
Wait, hold on. Before we jump into Shot for Shot, I got to say this because I know the folks at home are used to us having our lovely
our card girl,
sexy ring card girl. She's not with us this week. She got lost upstate in Hurricane Sandy, so she's not here this week, but she will be back soon. So shout out to Rebecca.
It's just not the same without you, Rebecca.
Exactly. My motivation for today's game of Shot for Shot is not the same, but I'm going to do my best because I know Team Trip Young is at home and they want me to get another win. I'm going for my 3rd win in a row. And so let's get into the Shot for Shot.
All right, let's get it on, fellas. All right, so first question. Which coach would take the Lakers further in the season, Mike D'Antoni or Phil Jackson?
I don't like this question because it's not. I mean, obviously you got to go with Phil Jackson just because of the fact that it's Phil Jackson. But I mean, at the same time, I was talking before about him being tired and everything, and him not wanting to be on the road games. But I think just out of respect for Phil Jackson, he could hold those egos in check and probably build that chemistry a little bit quicker, even if he's not there for all the road games. Just during the practice sessions, getting them to click with each other. I think if anyone could do it, it's him. Even though he's old, I got to give him his props and go with him.
All right, Sir Trip.
You know, honestly, I really feel like neither one of those coaches is going to take the Lakers past the second round. But since we have to pick, I'd go with Phil Jackson as well. I just think, like Mark said, he'll be better at bringing all of those guys together, the egos, Kobe's ego, and getting them on the same page. I think their offense would be better with D and Tony, but that's about it. So I gotta agree. I'll say Phil Jackson.
Say we got a tie on that one, guys. The almighty Phil Jackson. That names, that's it. It's Phil Jackson, the man, the myth, the legend.
History, so.
Exactly. So on to the next question. Should the NFL eliminate tie games?
Tribune.
You know what? I was thinking about this, and I was gonna say yes during the regular season, but you know what? No, I don't even see why you eliminate them at this point in the season. You just gotta have your team get on the board, get them points, and stop the other team from scoring so you can get that win. You don't have to have those situations where you end up sounding like Donovan McNabb. I didn't know the games could be tied. So no, just that's how the NFL is. Just get over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree actually. I think that for the regular, and there's no ties in the playoffs, obviously. That's good enough as it is.
Yeah.
Regular season, you got a 15-minute overtime. If nobody could get it done at that point, the game should be over. The guys are playing long enough as it is. They're tired. It increases the risk of injury. And plus, it gets boring at a certain point. If there's no such thing as a tie, what is it? Triple overtime? You're watching essentially 2 games at that point.
So what do you propose?
I think the system the way it is with overtime is fine. If you can't get it done within the first 15 minutes of overtime, then it should be a tie.
That's it.
And that's what happened with San Francisco against St. Louis. So
you got to win to make the playoffs.
You guys are killing me today. It's another tie. I know, like in Georgia high school football, like what thing that they do is after so many.
Should we do like soccer where there's penalty kicks? They go field goal
do that,
kicks?
and also they do penetration. So it's like if you get past a certain yardage or whatever, they just give you the game. So I don't know if it could be one of those type of things or what, but I don't know.
No,
it has to be something.
I think ties are okay in football. If you can't get the job done after a certain point, it's something.
But what is the rule during the playoffs?
It
just keeps going
until somebody wins.
You'll have a double or a triple.
But that's
time.
that's the playoffs though. So you kind of gotta because you need to win it during the regular season. Is you win and get your team in a position to make the playoffs.
And ties affect the record, obviously. So it's something
that separates you from the other team. Then you should have got the job done in that 15-minute overtime period.
All right, so it's 2 up right now on the question 3. Following their first loss of the season, are the Falcons still the team to beat in the NFC?
Well, I never thought of the Falcons as the team to beat in the NFC. I always saw the 49ers as the strongest team in the NFC. But the fact that Alex Smith is injured, I'm gonna say yes now. I think the Falcons are the best team in the NFC right now. Even though they just got their first loss of the season, they still have the best record in the league, and I think that they're the most dangerous, the most consistent. So I'm gonna have to say that. Other than obviously going with the biasness of the Giants, I don't want to lose a point on that one. So I'm gonna have to say yes. The Falcons are
realistic.
the team to beat.
I disagree. I do agree that they weren't the team to beat from the beginning. However, the Falcons have had a pretty weak schedule this season. They haven't really amazed me, and they a couple of games. They could. I know they won, and that's the most important thing. But there was a couple of games they could have lost. 2, Matt Ryan has never won a playoff game. You know, they're not the team to be in the NFC. I still like the Giants over them, the 49ers over them, and the Packers over them.
All right. This is where we break this tie. I would have to go with Mr. Trip Young on that one.
I agree.
You know,
I don't know why
I just don't feel like this. Like you said, their season was tough to begin with. You know, they're on a roll right now, but we'll see once the schedule starts getting tougher.
The only loss they got was just now against New Orleans in New Orleans, and that was only by a 4-point
But
margin,
New Orleans has always owned the Falcons. Like,
yeah, well, that's
that goes without saying.
That's the thing. But it was a home game in New Orleans, and they lost by only 4. So that they're still, you know, and it's their first loss of the year. So they're still up there as one of, you know, possibly the best team in the NFC.
I just don't see them going out of the second round, but maybe that's just me.
Regular season and playoffs are two completely different things.
Yeah, like my man put his foot in his mouth. Oh, we're gonna go 16-0. Yeah, we have that pedigree and everything. Oh, okay.
Just don't say they're gonna win Super Bowl.
That's called the Rex Ryan syndrome.
There you go. On the next question, which was the biggest shocker? The Lakers choosing Mike D'Antoni over Phil Jackson, or 15th ranked Texas A&M beating Alabama?
This is tough one. I'm gonna say it's Texas beating Alabama. One, because of how dominant Alabama's been this season, and two, because they beat them in Alabama. I just don't see that decision as very shocking because of the demands that Phil Jackson was making, and you know him and Jim Buss. You know they have their issues because Jim Buss wants to be the man in LA. So I'd have to say that Texas A&M beating Alabama is a bigger shocker.
Yeah, I'm going to agree again with that one. I didn't expect Alabama to lose a single game the entire season. So Alabama is just the most dominant team, in my opinion. And for them to lose in Alabama was definitely a big shocker. And like Trip Young said, Phil Jackson was just asking for everything. Like, he was asking for part of the team, huge dollar amounts, and it's just
Air Force One.
Exactly.
What the things were going on?
No, he didn't want to travel.
He wanted private jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
I wasn't too shocked.
He acted like they was giving him a Greyhound ticket across the country or something.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just getting outlandish.
can I say that I don't agree with either one of you guys?
You
mean,
were
you
more
can,
shocked
but
about Phil
Can
Jackson?
I say that? Yeah, because I feel like, you know, the whole Phil Jackson thing was a no-brainer for the most part. And also with college sports, I feel like it's more of a level playing field to where it's any given Saturday where anybody can go down. You know, so
I mean, either way, this is both shockers.
I just didn't expect them to get
Yeah.
Phil, to be honest with you. Even from the beginning, the fans are chanting it. You know, Phil Jackson obviously sees blood, which is why he's asking for everything. So it's something where I knew he was going to ask for too much, and like that was it. Like, it was the point where
You're still waiting for him to come and coach the Knicks.
Exactly.
Not too long ago.
yeah, right. He's just going to try to
won
coach
a ring as a player for the New York Knicks. Let's not forget
he's
that,
going to
ladies
coach
and
them from
gentlemen.
the house with a headset and a cell phone.
He'll probably do that.
We got Skype, all right? He can make it happen.
So Mr. Trip Young is still up because I said I don't agree with you guys on that one. So on to the last question.
So that's a negative point.
That's a negative point. That's a Trip Young. There you go.
Allowed?
All right. Knowing that the Rangers will offer a max deal of 3 years, will Josh Hamilton continue to be a Texas Ranger next season?
Nope. These players nowadays, Pujols, all of them, they want the big money and they want the big years. They want that security. They don't want to have to worry about an injury that ends their season.
He's 32 as well.
They want to get paid, and they want to get paid for as long as possible. He's not going to want that 3 years. And there's other teams out there that have money, like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Red Sox dumped a lot of salaries in that waiver trade before getting rid of Beckett and Crawford and the rest of them. So they're going to have money. They'll be willing to offer him somewhere between 5 and 7 years with more money. So I don't see him coming back to Texas.
Yeah, he's in his prime right now. He's coming off one of his best seasons. He's 31 right now. So 3 years he'll be 34. You know, at 34, nobody's going to give him a big contract after that. So he's gonna have to try to lock in 5, 6, or even 7 years now if he can. I don't really see anybody giving him more than 6, but he's not gonna stay there to play for 3 years, and knowing that after that he's definitely not gonna get a 5 or 6 year deal after that, unless it's for the low. So I gotta agree.
So that means I wear a Red Sox hat next week, as I kind of lost
Pretty
this
much,
one.
and
and then what the worst part is, going with the Falcons instead of using my Giants bias. But you know what it is? You're a Cowgirls fan, so if I went and I said the Giants are the team to beat in the NFC.
You threw out a good fact about the 49ers. One of my close friends, he plays for the 49ers as well. Larry Grant, he used to block for me back when I was in high school. So I'm definitely rooting for them or whatever. But yeah, the Falcons, nah. And Josh Hamilton, I think, to piggyback off what you guys said, he had a lot of off the field issues or whatever. So, a lot of times nowadays teams don't really want to, they don't really want to deal with that.
He didn't really have the greatest season of his career last year.
Exactly, and he's had some inconsistencies as well, from year to year. He had a good year this year, but they don't know what they get next year. So I'm definitely agree with both of you guys. And, sir, I believe you will be wearing Boston Red Sox next week.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, because I hate when one of us has to put on Red Sox gear. We
gotta find another team.
Here live in the Bronx, not too far from Yankee Stadium, and it sucks when that has to happen. But
well, I wore the Heat baby shirt that they taped on me.
I saw that.
There's not too many teams that I hate with a passion like that. Maybe the Eagles or something.
The LeBron shirt for next week for you, because I know you got a lot of hate in store for LeBron this season.
What is that about?
That's just how he is. But you know what? I got my first three-peat of the show. Y'all gonna have to start calling me the Zen Master, Trip Young. I don't plan on losing shot for shot anytime soon. I did this win is for Rebecca for when she comes back. So you owe me, some time, Rebecca. I think you need to just bring the ring cards and just stand behind me whenever, I'm on set.
All right, leave your fantasies
Your
off of the
twisted
show.
fantasy.
Yeah. All right, and now moving on to our next segment of the show, This Day in Sports History. With this segment, basically, this particular day in sports history, a lot of different things happen. We're going to run through a few of them right now. In 1964, Bob Pettit of the St. Louis Hawks becomes the first NBA player to score 20,000 points. A lot of people have done it after him, but Bob Pettit was the first one to do so, and shout out to Bob Pettit accomplishing
Bob Pettit
that.
up there with that Hawks jersey on. That's a big accomplishment, 20,000 points at that time. He's probably chucking though,
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that. He's probably another
Jeff Hornacek
Kobe.
shorts.
Will Chamberlain had his share of
Them
chucking
Jeff
too,
Hornacek
so.
shorts on.
Yeah, they just
John Stockton.
I'm glad they changed the uniform, man, because that's just sad seeing that every night run up and down the court. You want to take the next one, Fontaine?
This day in 1973, the Oakland A's, Reggie Jackson wins the AL MVP unanimously. Without a doubt.
Shout out to Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Yeah, I think he still had his best years with the Yankees. But that's big. Shout out to Reggie Jackson. See my man right there, Mr. October with the shades on, looking cool, So, and then, of course, finally, in 1992, Riddick Big Daddy Bo beats Evander Holyfield in 12 rounds for the heavyweight boxing title of the world. And, of course, we're not even going to put Riddick Bowe's image up because we got a piece of Riddick Bowe right here on the table, as you guys saw a couple of weeks ago.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
He dropped off that autographed signed boxing
Riddick
glove.
Big Daddy Bowe glove.
From Big Daddy Bowe himself. So he's another supporter of the show, Real Fans Real Talk. We got a lot
and also the Ring 10 charity event that we attended. That's where we got that Riddick Big Bad Daddy Bowe glove from.
Yeah.
That's Riddick Bowe signed it himself. Ring 10 New York. It's for boxers that fallen on hard times after their career was done. Riddick Bowe was actually one of them that Ring 10 benefited. So ring10ny.com is the website if you'd like to donate or find out more information. Also on the realfansrealtalk.com website under the charity section, it has our upcoming event as well as Ring 10 New York's website as well, all the links for all the charities that we've helped out in the past. Once again, I mentioned it earlier on the program, but if you're just joining us, it's November 30th at Bowmore Lanes, Times Square. A $30 donation gets you 2 hours of bowling, a shoe rental, a pink ribbon, and a pink bracelet, as well as a chance to win prizes. It will be 2 hours of bowling on a team. You'll have a chance to win prizes. It'll be a fun event for a good cause. It's only a $30 donation. November 30th, which is a Friday, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bowmore Lanes, Times Square. Since Bowmore Lanes donated the lanes for this charity event, 100% of that $30 donation goes to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation as they look to find a cure for breast cancer. So it's a great cause. Fun event for a great cause. No reason not to be there. We hope you could join us. There's a maximum of 100 people that can attend. We ask that you make your donations in advance so that way your name is on a list and you could attend the event. So we hope to see you there. Maybe you'll be on Team Trip Young, Team Statman if you want to win, Team Fontaine if you want to lose like the Cowgirls do.
Hey, I'm nice.
And, you know.
I'm nice. I play to win. That is
definitely
it.
going to be a fun
That is it.
They know who the champ is, and it's definitely Trip Young. So aside from all this nonsense that's been going on, if you really want to win, bowling is in my blood. I come from a long line of bowlers. I got a couple people that were on the PBA tour. So if you guys really want to win, just sign up. But more importantly, though, come down.
Everybody wins when you come down for a good cause. So it's definitely going to be a fun event for a good cause. Real fans, real talk.
Heard you guys play with the bumpers.
Yo, I stat man because he has OMS, old man syndrome.
Oh,
and,
man.
So basically, we have to put the bumpers in because his vision is going, his back. He got Patrick Ewing injury right now. That's why he wears the Knicks jersey in honor of Patrick Ewing and all that.
And Stoudemire gets those back injuries too.
So that's really what's going on with that. But we got moving on to baseball. We had some awards given out. We got a couple of more that's going to be going on this week, so we'll keep you posted. But they did announce the American League and the National League Rookies of the Year. Bryce Harper took the honors for the National League, and my man Mike Trout took the honors for the American League. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement on Mike Trout for the American League. I'm not too sure on Bryce Harper on how, because I honestly I didn't think he had that great of a season. With all of the hype that was surrounding him coming into the league, I didn't think he did that well. But what do you guys think?
I mean, who else? What do you think? Like, should have taken Rookie of the Year? I mean,
I guess it's by default because
it's not like MVP of the year or anything. But Rookie of the Year,
I just think he hasn't lived up to the hype.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for MVP, he's definitely you gonna say what? Trout and like who? Milky?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's true. So it's kind of, I guess by default, he got the National League.
He was there.
Rookie of the Year.
He put up the numbers.
He was the biggest name. He put up great numbers, especially for a rookie. I mean, we'll see how the rest of his career goes. Whether he's gonna fit into a much higher level of a superstar. But I think he did pretty good for a rookie. So.
Yeah, Nationals wasn't Mike Trout.
Yeah, Nationals wasn't bad this year also.
Yeah, compared to Mike.
They definitely wasn't bad
Mike Trout was in the running for MVP, so it's not, that's as a rookie. So that's you can't really.
They should have that out.
That doesn't happen too often.
That out Thursday night. The MVP. Cy Young will also be announced this week as well. Cy Young candidate R.A. Dickey. He's been in the news because they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with him, whether they're going to trade him, whether they're gonna sign him. At 38 years old, he's still one of the top pitchers in the league. He dominated last season with that knuckleball. But what do you guys think? Should they trade him and try to get what they can for him, or should they keep him and try to just?
Well, my thoughts were already noted on Sunday's radio show, which airs on RealFansRealTalk.com, 7:30 p.m. Sundays. I said that I believe that they should pick up other pieces for him because they need to be a little bit deeper. Yes, R.A. Dickey's one of the best pitchers in the National League, but the Mets need a lot more pieces, and that one pitcher is not going to do it for him. Even if they pick up pieces, they're still going to lose because it's my entire team sucks, and R.A. Dickey's the one person that's not on the entire team, exactly. I guess. But
and also to piggyback off what you said, it'll definitely help them out bringing other players in because he can help mold and shape these other players to be possibly R.A. Dickey's of the future or whatnot. He's 38 years old. It's not too much baseball he has in him. Although you can play baseball for a long time, there's not so much baseball you're going to have in you.
So,
Chipper gave it up. It's time for you to give it up.
Roger Clemens is going to be pitching baseball in the old folks home league.
You're right.
Yeah, but they, he's trying to wait out his time for when he's up for the Hall of Fame. He's trying to add on a couple of more years before they have to.
He's trying to get that steroid scandal to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll let you guys know with Roger Clemens. But shout out to him though. All right. Football. We got to get back to football. I know we're coming close to the end, but we got Thursday night football. We got an AFC East rivalry matchup. The Dolphins.
The garbage game?
And the Bills. Yeah, I think this is
Thursday night trash game?
Well, no, because we'd have to add the Jets in as well.
You saying we watching NBA TV that night?
Yeah, I believe so. What basketball game is on Thursday?
Well, the Knicks play the Spurs on Thursday night, so I think I'll be watching that instead.
But you know what? The older Spurs, they put you to sleep sometimes too.
Well,
you just gotta watch Tony
They get the job done though, and that's actually. The Knicks will be playing tonight at 7 p.m. against Orlando. I believe that's an easy victory for them. After Brooklyn gave them a beat down, New York is going to kick them while they're down on top of it. And but then they play the Spurs Thursday night in San Antonio, and that's they'll be 5-0 at that point after beating Orlando, and that's probably one of the ones that it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to overcome. That's when they'll really be tested. I mean, they beat the Miami Heat the first game of the season. Trip Young, consider that to be a charity game.
You know, personally, I'm a LeBron James fan myself, so I'm with the young Trip Young.
Yeah,
you know,
that was a charity game. You know how like real fans will talk.
We gave him that.
Yeah,
that was a charity event. You know, D Wade said they shouldn't have played that game, and as you saw, D Wade was the only one. And shout out to D Wade for doing this. He was the only person to donate his entire paycheck for that game, which was over $200,000 to the cause for Hurricane Sandy relief. No one else did that. So they say what, let's give them a little morale boost to New York because they needed it. But because as we've seen since then, they're back to their dominating form as we saw it last night with LeBron James, the best player in the NBA, went off again, 32 points in the second half. Then had to shut down James Harden on that last play, and your boy Jeremy Lin couldn't do anything to take the lead. He had a chance and winds up shooting an air ball on a wide open 3-pointer.
He just doesn't have it.
Well, I don't know.
He doesn't have it.
Harden, I mean, there was no play set up there. He just wounded the last few seconds of the clock and tried to shoot a 3-pointer over Lebron James. That's not going to happen. You got as a coach, you got to draw a better play than that and try to get somebody open.
Guarding him, arguably, one of the best defenders in the league. At least, but the coaches all think so from a season to go, and he saw that and was scared. But they're gonna keep dominating like they do, between LeBron and my man Jesus Shuttlesworth. But we do got to wrap things up. We got to get out of here. So I'm gonna get a quick final thought from you guys.
Let me just go last. I like going last on this final thought segment.
All I'm gonna say is, because we didn't say about the Dolphins and the Bills, so I'm going with the Dolphins, because the Bills definitely been sticking it up this year. I really don't have a final thought, but I'm going with that.
Stick it up, so
that's it.
I just want CJ Spiller to do his thing because he's on my fantasy team, so I need a nice, good 100-yard game. Fred Davis's Jackson, is out, so he should get the most of the carries. And as my final thought, my man Joe Cool and them Ravens are gonna dominate them Steelers next week.
All right, Knicks 82-0 this season.
All right,
you ain't got all those comedy in there. Good night, everyone.
RealTalk.com, where Arthur Diamonds, Trip Young, and intern Tom for the white and black fans. Asia to Manhattan, I get all my facts from my bro Mark the Stats Man. If you're not tuned in, I recommend the CAT scan. And if your brain checks out, then you deserve a backhand. Sports, gossip, all the hot topics. Real fans, RealTalk.com got it. They got the hottest bloggers.
Is Jeremy Lin hurt?
Well, log on to the site and you can hear it from them first.